Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Megan Nicole, and today I'm going to give you an update on my 2020 goals and how I've been working on them and what they've been looking like in my life so far here in 2020. But before we get into it, if you like what you see today, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below and you can get updated on all things going on my channel. So let's get into it. So in my last YouTube video, I highlighted all the 2020 goals that I have set for myself this year, and I've given a little bit of a background on why I have those goals set or how I plan on working on them. So if you haven't checked that out yet, go ahead and give that video a watch after or before this video, just to give you a little bit of an insight on what I plan on working on this year. And one of the things that I highlighted in the last video was about why I haven't been able to keep or hold goals or New Year's resolutions in the past. And that was because I never really took the time to find ways to incorporate them within my life, and often found myself around the middle of January, I just lost sight and focus of having the goals and just dropped them altogether and quit working on them. Now, since these 2020 goals that I have set for myself are very important to me, I have already come into the year being very cognizant and aware of the fact that I do often lose sight of goals, and I do often drop them, and that is something that I didn't want to do this year. So it was this past week I noticed that I wasn't either taking time for the goals or I wasn't seeing them actually making a difference in my life, and I realized that it was probably because it is the middle of January, and this is around the time that I usually do drop goals altogether or lose focus and sight on them. So in realizing that, today I took some time to reflect on what it is in my life that either takes me away from focusing on goals, or what it is that I can do to change in order to actually continue to work on goals and to continue to not lose sight on them. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, are some things that I was able to reflect on and come up with in my life that maybe you can use to impact your goals and to continue to work on them. Now, the first thing right off the bat that I kind of took note of today was that in order to work on goals, or in order to take the time to work on something, I need to have a clean space. Now, this hasn't been something that I've been very particularly good at in my life. I am not the dirtiest person, but I'm also not the cleanest person. And I have seen that coming home from work, I'll either just drop things on the floor and leave it there and not necessarily tend to it until I really need to. And I noticed today that I either had a bunch of stuff on my table or on the ground, or I didn't have my bed made, and I noticed that my space that I was surrounding myself in was not clean. And whenever we don't have a clean place to focus, it distracts us, and we aren't able to focus on what we actually need to focus on. But typically what I do in my routine is Sundays are typically my chore days. So I will go grocery shopping that day, do laundry, any sort of cleaning or picking up I need to do occurs usually on Sunday. But in reflecting and realizing today that I need a clean place to work in, I have decided that throughout the week I want to be very intentional about keeping my space clean. So whether that means doing an extra load of laundry, or just being intentional about making my bed every day, or picking up things that I have on the counters or on the tables, I want to make sure that I have things clean, so I have a nice clean space to focus in order to come home at the end of the day or start the day being able to work on a goal or something that I have planned for myself that day. Another thing that I realized is in the past couple of days or the past week, I haven't necessarily gotten the right amount of sleep that I need to get. Now, one of my goals that I have set for myself in 2020 here is to maintain a daily routine, and included in that routine is that I want to be able to go to the gym every day of the weekday. So 5 days a week, and that is something that I was not good at this past week, and I realized that it's because since I go to the gym in the morning, I need to be able to get to bed earlier in that night. And last week I was either out doing other things, or I was trying to find time to work on goals, and I found myself staying up really late, which meant that it was going to be that much harder to get up earlier in the morning. So I realized that I need to find a way to really balance my goals and be able to come home and be able to work on them in a way that I can get to bed at a set time, so that way I can continue to get up in the morning and continue to go to the gym and maintain that daily routine, which is a goal that I have set for myself. And the last thing that I sort of reflected on is that, as I mentioned in my past video, I'm a very list and schedule oriented person, and last week I found myself coming home from work and I didn't have a list or a plan in my mind of what I wanted to work on once I got home, and so I found myself just scrolling through Instagram or wasting time like I had been before, not really working on any of the goals or plans that I had set before me. So what I want to do is be very intentional about waking up in the morning and laying out a plan that I have for myself, because all of the goals that I have set, they all are very vastly different, and they can be a lot to juggle and to manage, and I can just get very overwhelmed with them quickly, I can already tell. So, but in creating a list and a plan that I have in order to work on them, that's going to be able to give me a better understanding of a way to manage these goals and to work on them. So those have been the reflections that I've had so far in my journey of working on my 2020 goals. Just to be able to maintain a clean space that I can come back to work in and get enough sleep, and to create a list for myself that I have so when I come home I can hit the ground running and continue to work on my goals. So thank you again for watching, and like I said, if you like what you've seen today, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel below and leave a comment on how you've been working on your 2020 goals, or let me know what some of your goals have been for this year and how you have planned on working on them. Also, please feel free to leave in the comments some of the ways that you plan on working on your goals and what you do in order to complete your goals throughout the year, because I would love to have new ways of being able to work on my goals and not lose sight of them as I typically do around this time of year or around this month. So another thing is I did start a blog. That was one of my 2020 goals, and I've been very proactive and active on my website in order to get content out there, whether it's memories that I've had or realizations or just things going on in my life so far. I've been able to share it, and that's something that I've really enjoyed so far. So if you check the link below, please feel free to go and give it a read, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today, and I appreciate all of your support, and we'll see you soon on the next video.